Cambridge IGCSE Biology 061021 May-June 2021. Question number 1. What is a characteristic of all living organisms? Option 1 says breathing, which is wrong. Option B, circulation, which is wrong. Option C, egestion, which is wrong. Option D, sensitivity, which seems correct. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 2. The table shows a section of DNA taken from 4 different organisms. Which 2 organisms are most distantly related to each other? So the options are W and X. We can compare W and X. So the change would be in the first base, the second base, and in the fourth last, the second last, and the last one. And the other option is W and Z. So the difference would be in the second base. Option C says X and Y. The difference would be the first base, the fourth last, and the last base. Option D says X and Z. So the difference would be in the first base, the fourth last, and the last base. So the correct option would be option A, W and X. Question number 3. Scientists discover a new species of animal. It has segmented body with 2 pairs of legs on each segment. To which group of animals does this new species belong? So myriapods have 2 legs on each of their segment. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 4. The diagram shows a single-celled organism called euglena. Which labeled structures would also be found in an animal cell? So nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell membrane is also found in the animal cell. The correct option would be option C. Question number 5. The diagram shows some of the blood vessels and other structures in the human body. The blood vessels shown are part of the same. So the heart and kidney is an organ system. The blood vessels shown are in an organ system. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 6. A photograph shows a plant cell nucleus measuring 2 mm across. If the magnification of the cell is 500, what is the actual size of the nucleus? So we can calculate it by dividing 2 by 500. The answer would be 0.004. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 7. By which process do oxygen and carbon dioxide move between cells and capillaries? The process is called diffusion. The correct option would be option B. Question number 8. Which process is involved in the uptake of glucose by the epithelial cells of kidney tubules? So the concentration is high outside. The process which is required is called active transport. The correct option would be option A. Question number 9. Which element is found in proteins but not in carbohydrates? The elements found in carbohydrates are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Elements found in protein are nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 10. The diagram shows a short section of a single strand of DNA. Which strand of DNA will combine with this strand to form part of a double helix? So it would be T, G, G, and A. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 11. Starch is digested by amylase in the mouth, but it is not digested in the stomach. What is the reason for this? Starch is not digested in the stomach because the pH is too high for the enzyme. So the correct option would be option B. The pH in the stomach is not suitable for amylase to work. Question number 12. Which statement describes a catalyst? Option A says a substance that decreases the rate of a chemical reaction. Decreases is wrong and is not changed by the reaction. Option B says a substance that decreases the rate of a chemical reaction and is changed by the reaction, which is also wrong. It increases the rate of reaction and is not changed by the reaction. Option C says a substance that increases the rate of a chemical reaction and is changed by the reaction, which is also wrong. Option D says a substance that increases the rate of a chemical reaction and is not changed by the reaction, which is correct. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 13. A plant with stripped leaves was kept in bright light for 6 hours. White strip and green strip. A leaf was taken from the plant and the chlorophyll was removed. The leaf was then tested for starch using iodine solution. Which diagram shows the result of the test? So the white strip would turn yellow brown and the green strip would turn blue black as the starch is present. So the correct option would be option A. Question number 14. The graph shows daily carbon dioxide uptake and transpiration by the plant Agave americana. The plant is adapted to live in very dry conditions. The graph shows the CO2 uptake, time of day, and transpiration. What can be conducted from this graph? Option A says most stomata are closed during dark periods, which is wrong. They are open in the dark periods. Option B, most stomata are closed during light periods, which seems correct. Option C, there is no carbon dioxide uptake during dark periods, which is wrong. Option D says there is no water uptake during light periods, which is also wrong. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 15. Statements 1 to 4 describe stages in the development of cholera. What is the correct sequence of 4 stages? So stage 1 says chloride ions are excreted into the gut. Stage 2 says osmosis causes water to move into the gut. Stage 3 says the infected person becomes dehydrated. Stage 4 says toxins are produced by the pathogenic bacteria. So we can sequence them by 1, 2, 3, and 4. The correct option would be option C. Question number 16. What are the products when proteins are broken down? So the product would be amino acids. The correct option would be option A. Question number 17. The diagram shows part of a cross section of a root. What are cells 1, 2, and 3? 1 is root hair cell, 2 is root cortex cell, and 3 is xylem. So 1 is root hair cell and 2 is root cortex cell and 3 is xylem. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 18. The diagram shows an onion plant that has been grown from a seed. Each onion plant takes 2 years to flower and reproduce more seeds. What is the onion bulb acting as in stage 3 and 6? So in stage 3, it acts as a sink. It stores food inside, and in stage 6, it acts as a source. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 19. What are the main vessels carrying blood to and away from the kidney? So The vein, the vessel that carries blood to the kidney is renal artery, and away from kidney is renal vein. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 20. The photomicrograph shows human blood. Which blood component makes antibodies? So option A shows phagocyte, option B shows the blood plasma, option C shows lymphocytes, option D shows red blood cell. So the correct option would be option C, lymphocytes. Question number 21. A child is vaccinated against measles. After a period of time, the child is infected with the measles virus. The graph shows the concentration of measles antibodies in the child's bloodstream during this time. Antibody concentration in blood and time on x-axis. Which statement is consistent with the information in the graph? So option A says after the vaccination, the child produced memory cells, which seems correct. Option B says the child has had passive immunity against measles, which is wrong. Option C says the measles virus contains antibodies, which is wrong. Option D says the vaccination failed to protect the child against measles, which is wrong as antibodies are produced. So the correct option would be option A. Question number 22. Which sequence of changes takes place when we breathe in? So the diaphragm contracts, the thorax volume increases, and the pressure in the lung decreases. So the correct option would be option A. Question number 23. The list shows some processes that take place in a human body. Which processes use energy released by respiration? So process 1 says production of new red blood cell, which is correct. Process 2 says transmission of nerve impulses from the eyes to the brain, which seems correct. Option 3 says diffusion of gases into and out of the lungs, which is wrong. So the correct option would be option A, 1 and 2 only. Question number 24. Which equation is aerobic respiration? So aerobic respiration is glucose plus oxygen, which produces carbon dioxide plus water. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 25. Which statement about urea is correct? Option A says urea is formed from excess amino acids in the kidneys, which is wrong. It is not formed in the kidneys, and excreted by the liver, which is also wrong. Option B says urea is formed from excess glucose in the liver, which is wrong, and digested by the kidneys, which is also wrong. Option C says urea is formed from excess glucose in the kidneys, which is wrong, and digested by the liver, which is also wrong. Option D says urea is formed from excess amino acids in the liver and excreted by the kidneys, which is correct. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 26. The diagram shows the appearance of an eye in bright light. Which row gives the correct states of the iris muscles in bright light? So the radial muscles are relaxed and the circular muscles are contracted. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 27. What is the effect of adrenaline on pulse rate and blood glucose concentration? So the pulse rate increases and the blood glucose concentration also increases. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 28. Which statements about auxin is correct? Statement 1 says auxin is made in all cells in plants, which is wrong. Statement 2 says auxin causes cells to elongate, which is correct. Statement 3 says auxin moves between cells by osmosis, which is wrong. Statement 4 says auxin is unequally distributed, which is correct. So the correct option would be option D, 2 and 4. Question number 29. Scientists carried out a survey on the effect of giving up smoking on the risk of developing lung cancer. The results are shown in the graph. Percentage, cumulative risk of developing lung cancer, age in years. The scientists made three conclusions. Which conclusions are correct? So, number one says stopping smoking reduces the risk of developing lung cancer, which is correct. Number two says age increases the risk of lung cancer for smokers and non smokers, which is correct. Option three says the earlier people stop smoking, the lower the risk, which is correct. So the correct option would be option A 1, 2, and 3. Question number 30. A zygote has 10 chromosomes in its nucleus. Which row shows the number of chromosomes in the cell of this species? So, if a zygote has 10 chromosomes in its nucleus, the body cells would also be 10, the embryo cells would also be 10, and the sperm cells would be 5. The correct option would be option C. Question number 31. How will the composition of a pregnant woman's blood change as it passes through the placenta? Concentration of dissolved oxygen, concentration of urea. So, the concentration of dissolved oxygen decreases and the concentration of urea increases. So, the correct option would be option B. Question number 32. What carries a copy of the gene to the cytoplasm to make protein? So, mRNA molecules carry the copy of genes to the cytoplasm. The correct option would be option D. Question number 33. Which statement about meiosis is correct? Option A. Daughter cells are genetically identical, which is wrong. Option B. The chromosome number changes from haploid to diploid, which is wrong. Option C. It is used to produce body cells, which is wrong. Option D. It allows the formation of new combinations of chromosomes, which is correct. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 34. Color blindness is a characteristic that is sex linked. Which statement about color blindness is correct? Statement 1 says the gene for color blindness is located on Y chromosome, which is wrong. It is located on the X chromosome, and color blindness is more common in male than in females. Option B says the gene for color blindness is located on X chromosome, and color blindness is more common in males than in females, which seems correct. Option C says the gene for color blindness is located on the X chromosome, and color blindness is more common in females than in males. So it is more common in males than in females. Option C is wrong. Option D, the gene for color blindness is located on Y chromosomes, which is wrong, and color blindness is more common in females than in males, which is also wrong. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 35. The graph shows the percentage of different blood groups in a human population. Percentage in population, blood group. Which type of variation is shown by the human blood groups? So the variation is discontinuous variation and it is caused only by genetic factors. So the correct option would be option D. Question number 36. New strains of the crop plant wheat can be produced by crossbreeding disease resistant plants with those that give high yields of grain. What is this an example of? So this is called artificial selection. So the correct option would be option B. Question number 37. The diagram shows the flow of energy, sun to grass to rabbit and then to fox. Which form of energy is transferred at point 1 and 3 in the diagram? So at point 1 the energy would be light energy and at point 3 it would be chemical energy. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 38. The diagram shows the feeding relationships in a food web. Which organism may feed as both a secondary and tertiary consumer? So, fox feeds on blackbird and rabbit mouse. So, the correct option would be option A, fox. Question number 39. Why are bacteria useful in genetic engineering? Option A says their genetic code is different to other organisms, which is wrong. Option B says they have cell walls, which is wrong. Option C says they have plasmids, which is correct. Option D says they reproduce sexually, which is wrong. So the correct option would be option C. Question number 40. Which hormones can cause the feminization of male fish? So the hormones that cause feminization are estrogen and testosterone. So the correct option would be option C. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe.